the flour and lard in a food processor with the sugar, salt and yeast. Pulse to mix the ingredients together. Then add in the eggs and milk and pulse to form a soft dough. Lightly flour the work surface and knead the dough for 5 minutes until smooth. Put the dough in a bowl, cover with cling film and leave to rest for 10 minutes. Put the butter between some sheets of baking parchment and roll into a rectangle about 1 centimetre thick. Lightly flour the work surface and roll the dough into a large square, about 1 centimetre thick. Lay the butter across the centre of the dough at a diagonal angle. Fold the 4 corners of the dough into the middle of the butter so that the butter is encased. Make sure your butter is chilled but pliable. If it's too cold, it will be hard and break the pastry layers you're trying to create. If it's too warm, it will ooze out as you roll the dough and make the pastries greasy. Lightly flour the worktop. Using a rolling pin, gently press the dough to flatten. This helps the butter to spread out evenly when rolling. Roll out the dough to a rectangle, about 20.5 centimetres by 40.5 centimetres. Fold the bottom third of the dough into the middle. Then fold the top third over the top like an envelope. Neaten the edges by pressing them with a rolling pin to make a neat rectangle. Wrap the dough in cling film and chill in the fridge for 20 minutes. Lightly flour the work surface. Lay out the dough with the sealed edge on the left side like a book. Roll out to a rectangle about 20.5 centimetres by 40.5 centimetres. Repeat the folding process again. Neaten the edges and return to the fridge for 20 minutes. Repeat this process of folding and chilling twice more. Then wrap the dough in cling film and rest in the fridge for 1 hour. When making Danish pastries, split the dough in portions before rolling to make more than one type. To make swirls, lightly flour the work surface and roll out the dough into a rectangle about 5 millimetres thick, or about 20.5 by 30.5 centimetres. Make regular quarter turns when rolling to get an even thickness. Trim the edges of the pastry to straighten. Spread your filling of choice evenly over the dough, leaving a small margin around the edge. Roll the dough up tightly from one long end to the other to make a roll. Slice across the roll widthways into 2 centimetre slices. Put flat side down on a lined baking sheet. To make pinwheels, roll out the dough into a rectangle about 5 millimetres thick. Trim the edges to straighten. Cut into 4 even-sized squares. Take a square and make diagonal cuts from each corner about halfway into the middle of the square. Spoon a teaspoon of the filling of your choice into the middle. Then fold every other point into the centre and press down to stick them together. Put on a lined baking sheet. For fruit foldovers, roll out the dough and cut into 4 squares as per the pinwheels. Put 2 teaspoons of custard in the middle at a slight diagonal angle. Top with halves of tinned fruit such as apricots or peaches, domed side up. Dot each with a small blob of jam. Then pull the 2 opposite corners of the pastry over so that the corners meet between the fruit halves and pinch to seal. Put on a lined baking sheet. Once shaped and filled, let the pastries rise for 30 minutes until doubled in size. Brush the tops with beaten egg and make sure to pinch any edges together again if needed. Bake at 220 degrees centigrade for about 15 minutes until golden and risen.